Our individual experiences often challenge our assumptions about the world we live in. Facing up to challenges and living through them give us the experiences that make up our lives and our assumptions about the world we live in. The anguishes associated with living is expressed throughout the play Rainbow's End by Jane Harrison and the film The Sapphires directed by Wayne Blair. By elucidating human motivation and attitudes to highlight the paradoxes and anomalies in the world we live in, the two illustrators have portrayed the concept of belonging through the use of various techniques to illustrate the human qualities associated with the characters' challenges and explore the belief that humans seek to belong through common relationships and the central focus of the Indigenous culture. The depiction of racial prejudice challenges social assumptions by provoking individuals to reflect on their perceptions and develop new ideas. They both centralise Australia's stolen generation, the victims of a government policy of assimilation that have been collectively experienced. Belonging is fundamental to our happiness and well-being. Our human experiences and health are tied to the feeling that we belong to a greater community. The idea of belonging is apparent as the Indigenous community wish for a sense of belonging in society, yet rather are being isolated from the white community. The collective human experience of being identified as the stolen generation evidently challenges their assumptions of the world they live in. Shown in the play Rainbow's End, in the Queen's visit scene, where Gladys gets back home disappointed as she didn't get the opportunity to see the Queen. This is featured in If They Had Given Us Proper Houses, but Hessian like a band-aid over a sore. The irate tone enables us to delineate the desperate measures Gladys has gone to, that is, the white gloves and glamming up to look satisfactory didn't bring fulfillment because of her address, social foundation and cultural background. Moreover, using a simile like a band-aid over a sore specifies the Aboriginal community is the sore that needs covering up of any evidence of their reality by the Hessian. In a similar way, in The Sapphires, the utilisation of costuming is exemplified in the scene where Gail and Cynthia intrude on Kay's tea party at her suburban house with her white friends. The audience can see Kay has adopted the fashion of the white community through the bright lighting inside and the various retro-coloured to resonate with the audience that they are in a happy environment, juxtaposing the difference between black and white lifestyles. The paradox is evident through the close-up shot on the facial expressions of the four ladies. Embarrassment and shame. This features the significance of Kay's social status to make her feel as if she has a place in the predominantly white Australian society. The instinctive need for individuals to belong through social status can affect the choices we make, and this idea is challenged throughout the play Rainbow's End and the film The Sapphires, where the need to belong is through the acceptance of others. Racial prejudice is perceptible in recurrent forms towards the Aboriginal community. Throughout both Rainbow's End and The Sapphires, the unique experience of racism faced by Aboriginals and Torres Strait Islanders were driven by the ongoing impact of colonialism and historical disadvantage. Wayne Blair utilises a countless amount of mid-shots and close-ups to represent the racial prejudice arising from the white Australians, as for example in the girls' performance in the bar. Mid-shots of white Australians having stern expressions or wanting to leave the bar despite their effortful performance because of their cultural background. They were undesirable and unsatisfactory. Another example of this would be the soldier that had been shot and required medical help. Robbie then attempted to assist the soldier. However, the white trooper rejects his help and says, "Don't touch me. Get your black hands away from me. Get the black dog away from me." Wayne Blair uses the technique of zoomorphism to represent dehumanization and depicts that despite the fact that the military has dark-skinned officers working and battling for them, the military still has a type of prejudice against the black dogs, regardless of if they are helping the military battle for their nation. Jane Harrison utilizes a variety of methods to explore the idea of racial prejudice inside the lives of the Deer family. The bank manager deliberately makes Gladys and her daughter feel excluded. Well, it's all very impressive. What I'm wondering is how she'd fit in. By the use of ellipsis to emphasize on the barrier and create a pause for a dramatic effect. The bank manager rejects Dolly from this position exclusively from her social status and race, completely disregarding all of her amazing skills and qualities.